welcome to the Solo Power Deadeye Pistols build. You've seen what this build is for and what this build isn't for, but I invite you to just tinker around and see what you like from this build to make it adaptable to other things. I use it in other things other than what I've said. It's just that, strictly speaking, this build is for PvE, for dungeons, for low-level fractals, for having a great time with an easy rotation and a very powerful one at that. Power Solo Deadeye Pistols. Let's have a look at the build. Not the build first, no, let's start with the equipment. So we've got all berserkers all the way around, power, precision, ferocity. For your infusions, now I go half power, this one's power, but I go half power, half precision. And for the rune, I've gone for a rune of the ogre. Now the obvious one to do for a berserker or power build would be the scholar. The only difference between the scholar and the ogre is 0.6. 0.6 in the scholar has a 5% damage increase while you stay above 90%. Now, once your health dips below 90%, you lose that 5% damage, you can't get it back. Not unless, of course, your healing goes back over the 90. In a prolonged fight or in a group fight, that's not going to happen, you've lost it. With the Rune of the Ogre, 4%, 1% less, I admit, but 4%, and you will not lose that overall 4% damage that you get with the Rune of the Ogre. You will lose the 125 ferocity, but I'll have that later on in the build. I won't need to supplement it here. I prefer the 4% damage on the whole thing constantly than be held hostage to my health being above 90%. Also, the Rock Dog is surprisingly effective and is a great one for taking aggro while you're picking them off with your pistols. But that's my opinion, and you are welcome to change that rune for anything that you think would serve you better. For the trinkets, it's the same kind of thing. Berserkers all around, and again, your infusions, I mix precision and power. You could put more precision, more power, it really is up to you entirely. Make it as effective as you like. For the weapons, for dual pistols, again, berserkers. Now, I've gone here for Sigil of Force in one hand, as you'd expect in any power build, but I've gone for Sigil of the Night in the other, and I'll tell you why. The outgoing damage is increased by 3% always. You've always got 3% there, no matter what. It's not subject to anything. But the day-night cycle of the game is very fast, much faster than anything that we have in real life. And you could find in a prolonged dungeon, or in a mission, or in a strike mission, anything else like that, that actually you are in action long enough to have been through a cycle of day and night. Not so with PvP and World to World and these kind of things, which is why I'm just saying, for me, for the kind of content this is devised for, a sudden increase of 7% at night is really, really helpful. But that's just me. Feel free to change that sigil for anything that you think would serve you better. Let's go to the build. For the pistols, I'll start with Trickery. Now, I'm keeping Deadeye, so the Deadeye's mark will be there instead of the Thief. But for Trickery, stealing gives you initiative, so straight away by using the mark you will gain extra initiative. Always very helpful, because these pistols are going to take a whole load of it away from you. When you steal, for steal read using the mark, when you steal, you and all nearby allies gain Fury, Might and Swiftness for 10 seconds. That's every time you steal. That's pretty impressive. This you can't do anything about, but it increases your maximum initiative by 3. In other words, it makes this line longer, meaning you can do more of these before you run out. Very useful indeed. And then, of course, the one that we've got there, which gives us 2 back. Next, increases damage and condition damage per initiative spent. Steals gain reduced charge time. So for a start, that has a reduced charge time when you're using it, which is really good. But also the lead attacks give you some extra damage if you're using that, only when you're in combat. But it's handy to have when you can do nothing about it anyway. You're stuck with it if you're following this line. For my last trait, I've gone for Quick Pockets. Gain initiative on swapping weapons while in combat. Again, you can gain a quick 3 initiative by swapping weapons. Now here's a trick. You will have seen earlier when we were looking at weapons that I had a rifle in my swap weapons. If you put one pistol, in fact, you know what, I'll show you. Let's remove my rifle and take this pistol out and put it there. Now you've still got two pistols, and when you swap weapons you have the two pistols again, but it's still a weapon swap and you'll still get extra initiative, which means you can still deal the same solo power Deadeye pistol damage, but get all the benefits from a swapping like that without having to have 4 lots of pistols. So when you swap weapons, which in actual fact you're just staying with the same 2, you'll get 3 initiative back here. It's all about having this initiative high to keep the damage flowing. Critical strikes. Obviously these 3 again you can do nothing about. They are set if you want that line. I like this one because it gives me some great passives on the signets. The Signet of Malice, heal when you kill a foe. Well, for a start, the passive is getting healing when you hit. So every hit you've done, you're being healed. When you kill it, you get healed. And if you're desperate, you trigger it and get healed. And it's on a lower recharge. That's good enough for me. Here, though, you've got power with this Assassin's Signet. But you also get might every time you kill something, which is a great passive to have. This one allows me to get around the board quickly. 25% increase in movement speed. I don't have it in any of my traits. So I enjoy having this. Great passive on this is 2 seconds of stealth every time you kill something. You're under pressure, kill something lesser, go into stealth, move into a new position, you're ready to go again. Forgotten where I am for a moment. Oh yes, here we go, sorry about that. It was the signets increasing and improving not only their passive effect, but the recharge as well. Deadly aim. Your pistol and harpoon gun attacks now pierce and inflict less damage. Okay, they do 5% less damage, but we can make that up with lots of other things that we've got going. But it pierces. Now your rifle doesn't pierce, but the pistols do, which in group content incredibly important. And losing 5% by having each shot being able to tackle more than one. You're agile and mobile because of this. You've got stealth to go. You can constantly be moving into a place which takes full advantage of the piercing. And finally, you are healed for percentage of outgoing critical damage. The healing is increased when you're under the effects of fury. It's another little heal that's really helpful when you're desperate and you get a bit of crit in there and you find it's healing. Now, if you find you don't need more healing, you've got healing from hit, healing from kill, and you've also got this that you can trigger. If you find that's overkill with the healing, your other options are Hidden Killer, which is gain bonus critical chance while stealth. So in other words, when you're stealth, you can guarantee a critical chance 100% hit when you're in stealth. Or there's no quarter, which is landing a critical hit while you're under fury increases the length of the fury, and you gain increased ferocity while you're under fury. So there are your options there if you felt that you just don't need this extra heal. Finally, Deadeye. Again, you've got the 3 that you can do nothing about. Here I've gone for Malicious Intent, marking a target or striking your mark with a stealth attack. That's this one. That's the marking the target will increase your malice. And for each malice grain, the overall effectiveness of what you're doing is far better. Here I've gone when renewing gaze triggers, which is this one. That is the Deadeye's mark, this one. Recharges if your mark is dead. So when you kill something, it triggers. This trait restores a portion of the recharge time needed by your healing, utility, and elite skills. So, mark the enemy, they die, which means that this recharges, which triggers payback, which means that all of these reduce by 20% their recharge. The alternatives, if you don't need or don't want the recharge in this, but that's rifle specific. So this one, you've got deal more damage for each boon on you, and concentration is increased, if you prefer that. Finally, I've gone for Be Bold or Be Killed. Gain quickness when marking a foe. Your power and precision are increased massively, 200 each, and 4 seconds of quickness to get the shots out very fast indeed. I like that a lot. However, you could go for this one instead, increasing the malice stack and getting boons accordingly. They're the two strong alternatives, but I would go for Be Quick and Be Quilled. By all means, go for the one that you enjoy the best. When it comes to the skills, the pistol skills, you can't change them, that's just the way they are. But as far as rotation is concerned, although just like the rifle build, really you can go with anything you like with this build. It's a dead easy one to use. However, looking at this one, you've got a nice daze here that would interrupt, and it pierces. In other words, you can daze more than one person at once. Alternatively, you could start with this one, which would put some vulnerability on them nicely and immobilize them. They're not going anywhere for just a moment. They're weaker, and then you offload with this. 8 of these, 3,240, get some more might included, initiative replaced, pierced. All in all, you are doing serious damage when you do that. Finish off with this one, blind them for the next 2 seconds. So you've hit them hard, you've weakened them, you've fired off your volley, then you've blinded them, so their shots back to you are going to be absolutely useless. You're ready to go again. Do a quick swap, that'll be recharged, and off you go again. These 3 we've already been through. This one, immobilize your target after a short delay and remove their boons. If your target is marked target, it's also knocked down. This is just good to cause your enemy all sorts of problems. Now, there are alternatives, a whole bunch of alternatives. You can do what I did in the other rifle build and go here for a bit of stealth, knocking back if people get too close to you. You can add poison to your build or any of the traps if you like. I would say either go for this one, immobilization, knocking them down if they're marked. It's really good to just throw them in a complete haze while you go around carrying on with your pistols, or go with this one to give you a bit of protection, knock them back, go into stealth, change position, and away you go. For your elite, you've either got Thieves Guild, brings 3 thieves in. They do quite good, they cause problems. You do feel like they're giving you more backup than they actually give, but it's quite a nice feeling. But it is a 2-minute recharge. Alternatively, go for this. Remove reveal of other people, so you can see any other that are around if you were taking it to PvP, and stealth yourself again. It's a get out of jail card to use if you like that, to use that instead. I'm quite happy with these. I know it's only every 2 minutes. I just save them and use them for when I really need a bit of a breather, to be honest. Okay, well that's it. It's a very easy to use. No hardship at all with the rotation. You don't have to stick to what I've done. Do feel free to change it to suit you, but you'll find this is a really easy to use, real easy rotation, really high damage. You'll be amazed at the damage this will kick out. Power, solo, Deadeye pistols. Hope you find it helpful.